For the final time in 2022, I welcome you inside GCS Credit Union Ballpark as the Otters and Grizzlies are set to do battle here in Sojay for the final time of 2022. Good evening and welcome onto the Otters Digital Network. I'm Matthew Will, joining you for another edition of Otters Baseball. Otters finally found the home run ball once again last night. It had been a couple weeks since they had a game that was consistent with the long ball working in their favor. They hit quite a few last night. Waste no time getting into the first game or the last game recap for you. In the third inning, Anthony Torrelas led off the third with his second home run of the season. That one towards right field gave the Otters a 1-0 lead. Three batters later, Elijah McNamee said, "I'll do it too." Another solo home run for the Otters quickly lifted them up 2-0. Fast forward all the way to the sixth, the Otters did it again. A solo home run for Elijah McNamee gave him a 3-0 lead before later in the inning with two runners on, J.R. Davis singled in one more, giving the Otters a 4-run advantage. In the seventh, the Otters added to it yet again with a strong home run from Andy Armstrong, his first one of the season, just barely getting over the wall out there in dead right field. Gave the Otters a 5-0 advantage. But in the bottom of the seventh, Gateway struck. Trevor Achenbaugh led off the inning with a solo home run. In the eighth, the Otters grabbed their 5-run lead right back on a sac fly RBI from Anthony Torrelas, taking a 6-1 advantage into the bottom of the ninth as Justin Watland stayed up on the mound. He allowed a solo home run to Isaac Bernard to lead off the ninth, then put down the Grizzlies 1-2-3 to end the game, earn his second complete game of the season, his first of 9 games. He gives up just 2 runs on 4 hits in 9 full innings, walks 4, strikes out 10. Justin Watland's 3-3, and because of the outing, earned the title of Frontier League Pitcher of the Week this morning, as announced by the Frontier League. Huge congratulations to Justin. Put a lot of changes into his game here and there to work the strikeouts a little bit more effectively, let his defense help him out a little bit. It's proven worthwhile both times, as you can see with a couple of strong outings for him. As we turn the table to this evening, we're going to see a pitcher on one side that we've seen multiple times in this series in J.P. Williams. Back when the two faced about a month ago, he made his first start against the Otters, and in those games he has had some mixed reactions. In the first one against Evansville, it was on the road. He went 7 full innings, walked 2, struck out 4. That was the first game or only game, I guess I should say, Gateway has won against the Otters all season long. Then on the 11th of June, he faced Evansville once more, allowed 5 runs on 8 hits in 5 2/3. That was good for his second loss of the year and a 1-1 record against these very same Evansville Otters. Before we get further into the lineups, which we'll take a look at after the national anthem, I want to walk through the Frontier League scoreboard as presented by our friends at Fox Sports WIFX. A couple games already underway here on this Independence Day. Sussex County at New York, holding a 5-4 lead currently in the 5th inning. Tri-City holding a 6-1 advantage, hosting Ottawa in the bottom of the 4th. Just getting started around the league as well. Florence at Schaumburg. They're in the 2nd inning, still scoreless. And in the 1st inning, Windy City puts up 4 runs on the road at Washington and leads 4-0 heading into the bottom of the 1st. Just a heads up, if Washington loses tonight and Evansville wins tonight, the Otters are just a half game out of first place. We'll take a break for the national anthem. And when we come back, we've got the first pitch and lineups. Here on the Otters Digital Network, Otters looking for the 4-game sweep. And if they can win, it would be their second 7-game win streak of the season. First pitch is coming at you next on the Otters Digital Network. And it's time for first pitch here from Sauget, Illinois. Welcome you back into the Otters Digital Network. I'm Matthew Will, joining you for another edition of Otters Baseball, available for free audio only here on the Otters Digital Network. Let's walk you through the starting lineup for the Evansville Otters, who are coming to bat here in the top of the first inning. The Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game is going to be right fielder Elijah McNamee for the sixth time this season. Batting second, the designated hitter Zach Bierman. Batting third, the center fielder Miles Gordon. Batting fourth, the first baseman Steven Sinsley. Batting fifth, the left fielder J.R. Davis. Batting sixth, the third baseman Anthony Torrelas. Batting seventh, the shortstop George Khalil. Batting eighth, the catcher Justin Felix. And batting ninth is the second baseman Andy Armstrong. On the mound for the Otters this evening is left-handed pitcher Brett Adcock. More on him in the bottom half of the first. We now walk you through the starting lineups for the home team this evening, the Gateway Grizzlies. Batting first is the center fielder Andrew Penner. Batting second, the right fielder Isaac Bernard. Batting third, the second baseman Trevor Achenbaugh. Batting fourth, the first baseman Clint Freeman. Batting fifth, the designated hitter Cesar Trejo. Batting sixth, the left fielder Jay Prather. Batting seventh, the shortstop Abdiel Diaz. Batting eighth is the catcher Alex Hernandez. And batting ninth is the third baseman Jose Rosario. The man on the mound this evening for Gateway is right-handed pitcher J.P. Williams. J.P. Williams hails out of West Melbourne, Florida, throws a sinker-slider changeup combo. He has faced the Otters twice this year, has a 1-1 record in those two games. He won the game that was here at GCS Credit Union Ballpark, lost the game that took place at Bosse Field in Evansville, and he threw his season high in pitches in that game at Evansville, 111 in just under 6 innings of work. It was certainly a heavy workload for him. It was part of the reason that the Otters were able to come out victorious in that game. He played a couple of seasons of collegiate ball at Eastern Florida State College, part of the National Junior College Athletic Association. Then he transferred to Nova Southeastern University, which is a Division II school in the NCAA. His catcher in his final season there at Nova Southeastern was none other than Alex Hernandez, who's behind the plate for the Grizzlies this evening. Again, it is Williams on the mound, Hernandez behind the plate. That pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by The Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at The Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give them a call at 812-475-9000. We are ready for first pitch on a beautiful 4th of July evening. Pleased you're joining us and spending your 4th of July listening to Otters baseball. First pitch to Elijah McNamee is a called strike at the knees at 6:46 p.m. Elijah McNamee, 2 for 5 in yesterday's game, 2 solo home runs. Hefty swing there on a slider that just got underneath him. Falls down in the count 0-2. Pretty much a straight-up defensive standing for this Gateway team. As ball one stays inside, counts at 1-2 for Elijah McNamee. Pitch on the way from Williams. A swinging strike 3 will start off this game. Elijah McNamee, the first victim of the strikeout for J.P. Williams. Let's walk you through the defensive alignment for the Gateway Grizzlies. Prather, Penner, Bernard, left to right across the outfield. In the infield, Rosario at third, Diaz at short, Achenbaugh at second, Freeman stands on first, and again, Hernandez is behind the plate. This brings up the designated hitter, Zach Bierman. Has fallen down to a 3.11 average. It's been a tough couple of weeks for Zach. He's just struggled to find a really consistent approach to the plate. A couple more strikeouts than he'd probably like as well. The 0-1 sent towards the gap on the right side. Achenbaugh able to get to it in time over to first, and plenty of time for out number 2. Achenbaugh was set up to kind of play the shift a little bit. He had to go back to where he normally would be over there at second in order to make that play. Was able to do it in plenty of time, though. 2 up, 2 down to start this game, the same way we've started just about every game in this series. Brings up the center fielder, Miles Gordon. First pitch to him is ball 1 on the inside edge. If he can find a way on, Steven Sinsley is on deck. 1-0, pitch on the way. Called strike right down the middle. Gateway is wearing special 4th of July jerseys, stars and stripes donning them with white script Gateway on the front, white numbers on the back. As Miles Gordon swings and misses on a breaking pitch that went low and outside on him. He's down 1-2 in the count. Otters are in their blue tops, gray bottoms. Blue tops have the script Otters in white on the front, white numbers on the back as well. And on defense, they're wearing their all blue hats with the gray bills. Pitch goes outside. Even count at 2 balls, 2 strikes for Miles Gordon. Still nobody on here in the first inning. 2 outs. 2-2 on the way from Williams. Sent fouled back towards the netting. Good work from Gordon to at least extend the inning one more pitch. Certainly not quite the crowd that was here last night. I'll tell you, that was something else. The announced attendance was just shy of 7,000. By far the biggest crowd the Otters had seen this year. The 2-2 still works outside. It's a full count. Otters have had 5,000 plus at quite a few games there at Bosse Field. This was the first time that they had been near 7,000 anywhere they had played. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Miles Gordon. Ready on the bump is Williams. The pitch is coming home. It's a swinging strike 3, and it's 3 up, 3 down in the top of the first for the Otters. After 1/2 inning, it's Otters 0, Grizzlies coming to bat. To the bottom of the first inning we go as Brett Adcock and the Otters take the field for the first time this evening. Not a bunch that Brett Adcock has not done. A couple of years at the University of Michigan before being drafted by the Houston Astros in the 4th round of 2016. Played in the Houston system for a long time. Single A, double A, triple A. He saw it all in the Houston organization from 2016 all the way to 2019 before he fell down to independent ball. Spent a couple of years with the Sioux City Explorers of the American Association before being traded to this Evansville team near the beginning of the season. His first start for the Otters this year was very good on the road at Ottawa, but the Otters lost the game because they didn't have any real offensive output in the back end. He only gave up 3 hits, no runs against in the 6 innings he pitched in that game against Ottawa. The Otters lost the game 1-0. That was a tough one to swallow. He had back-to-back games against Lake Erie that he struggled in, only going 3 innings in each. But since that, he's backed it up with back-to-back W's. Starts off this game with a called strike at the knees to Andrew Penner, the former Otter. 0-1 the pitch towards Andrew Penner. Adcock fires it that way. Swinging strike 2. Adcock controlled the strike zone very well in that last start at Joliet, where he gave up just 1 run on 3 hits in 5 2/3 innings. But the long at-bats, fouled off pitches, lots of balls thrown, worked the pitch count up very quickly. He was at 117 pitches, just shy of 6 innings of work. The 0-2 pitch goes low inside, kind of gets away from Felix. Doesn't matter because nobody's on base. One ball, 2 strikes to Penner. Adcock kicks and delivers. Zoomed right back up the middle, down for the game's first base hit. And it belongs to Gateway. Adcock looked a little disappointed with the pitch he threw there. wanted to leave it a little bit lower than he did. But luckily for the Otters, they just surrender a single to the leadoff man, Andrew Penner. It brings up the right fielder, Isaac Bernard. It's Adcock on the mound, Felix behind the plate. That pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road in Evansville. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. Let them know that Brett Adcock sent you. First pitch to Bernard, up high, ball one. Looked like Adcock might have wanted to throw the curve there. And speaking of Adcock's curve, it was monstrous in that game against Joliet. Had a ton of bite to it, but it was always finding its way to the zone. That was largely the reason he piled up 7 strikeouts in the game. The 1-0. There is that curveball, and it just missed to the high outside corner. He's down in the count 2-0. Otters head straight home after this one. 3-game set with Schaumburg this week on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then they host Florence Friday through Sunday. Get your tickets now at EvansvilleOtters.com. Should be a fun week of games. If you want to see what promotions we've got going on, EvansvilleOtters.com/promotions. There are a couple of cool ones going on this week. I'll mention them as we go throughout this evening's game. Adcock has himself ready on the 2-0. Fires home. Finds the zone on the outside edge. Felix did a nice job to help bring it into the zone. That takes the count to 2-1. Penner's got himself a decent lead over there at first. Adcock is ready on the 2-1. He's going to throw over to first, and Penner is once again back in plenty of time. Tomorrow night, Taco Tuesday. If you have not made it to Bosse Field for one of them, there's a lot to be excited about. Rally Taco making an appearance once again. A new Supreme Taco is available at the taco stand for just $4. They are very good, by the way. Worth a try. 2-0 and sent right over the head of Armstrong, down for a base hit into right center field. Picked up by Gordon, and the runners are going to plant themselves at first and third after good base running from Andrew Penner. Tell you what, if Andy Armstrong was 6 inches taller, he might have had that one. But instead, the rocket shot to right center has runners on first and third with no outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Gateway looking for an early lead. It'll bring up the second baseman, Trevor Achenbach. He grabbed a solo home run last night to extend his league lead. He now has 15. Adcock fires the pitch home, and it's fouled back towards the netting for a foul ball, strike one. Defense is playing at double play depth, not really worried about the man at third, more about getting the 2 outs. 0-1 the count. Pitch is on the way home. Sent bouncing to the left side. Torrales picks it up to second for 1. To first. Is it in time? No, it is not. So the Otters will just get 1 run on the RBI fielder's choice from Trevor Achenbach. Officially, it's 5-4 on the fielder's choice by Achenbach. He gets it to first. Also brings in an RBI. Penner scores. Bernard is taken on his way to second. And just like that, the Otters trail by 1 here in the bottom of the first. Otters will stay at double play depth as Clint Freeman heads to the plate. First baseman watches ball 1 go by a bit low. Clint Freeman batting .271 entering this game. 9 home runs. 1 of them came in the opening night of this series. 1-0 count headed his way. Called strike at the elbows. Very late called strike by Trevor Klosterman, who returns behind the plate. It's the same alignment that we saw on Friday night. Klosterman behind the plate. Clark and Morgan over on the right side of the infield. Trey Hudson on the left side of the infield. 1-1. Pitch coming home. It stays just under the knees, and it's a 2-1 count now. Well, if Adcock does happen to struggle, there's a huge pro for this team, and it's that they didn't have to use anyone out of the bullpen last night. So they've got plenty of fresh arms 2-1, catches the knees at the low edge on the outside. Counts at 2-2. Two balls, two strikes for Clint Freeman at the plate with a runner at first, one out. Adcock sends it home, stays way outside, and the count's full. Otters have already allowed a run here in the bottom of the first inning. It's the second time of this four-game set the Otters have given up a first run or a first inning run. They bounce back with three of their own in the second in that game now. The 3-2 coming home. Sent out towards left center field. Gordon working his way over towards the wall, brings it in for out number 2. And because of it, Achenball will have to retreat back to first. It's just a long fly out. Pretty gusty wind coming straight in from left field. Not a surprise that ball just hung up there once it got out there. Going to feel a lot like it did in the last couple of nights. If you're going to hit home runs, they've got to be to right field. And if you're going to hit something to left, you got to keep it underneath that building out there in left field, or else the wind will hold it in place. Cesar Trejo, the designated hitter, steps in, takes a called strike one on the high outside corner as Adcock brought the off speed. Still Achenball at first, but it's not a double play situation with 2 outs. So the defense falls back to the back edge of the infield turf. 0-1 to Trejo. Called strike 2, waist high on the inside. Be a huge win for Adcock to get himself out of this first inning, just giving up the 1 run. The 0-2. This one sent foul to the right side, will be out of play and will work its way out of the stadium as well. Count remains at 0-2. Defense is shifted just a tad. George Khalil, the shortstop, is playing basically right in between second and third over there on the left side. Adcock's ready on the 0-2. Now he steps off. Let's run you through the defensive alignment for the Otters. Davis, Gordon, McNamee left to right across the outfield. Torrellis at third, Khalil at short, Armstrong at second, Sinsley at first. Felix is behind the plate. The 0-2 coming home. Sent kind of softly towards Armstrong at second. He plays it pretty simply over to first in time for out number 3. That takes us to the second inning, but not before the Grizzlies are able to pick up their first run of the game on an RBI fielder's choice from Trevor Achenball. We head to the second inning. Grizzlies lead by 1. And we head to the top of the second inning. Very pleased you're joining us and spending your holiday with the Otters here on the Otters Digital Network. Evansville's looking for a 4-game sweep of Gateway. It would be their 7th straight win. It'd be the second time this season that they have had 7 consecutive wins. They are currently down a run after allowing an RBI fielder's choice in the bottom of the first to Trevor Achenball, having to chase in this game. Steven Sinsley will kick off the second. Takes a first pitch strike at the elbows. Sinsley, Davis, and Torrales due up today. You probably noticed there is no Jeffrey Baez in the lineup today. Just a routine day off for him. 0-2 comes across for a called strike 2. Sinsley has to find a way to stay defensive now. Williams quickly sending home the 0-2. Works in near the hands, and Sinsley's able to lay it off for ball 1. It's the thing you got to love about J.P. Williams. Up on the mound, gets his sign, and quickly fires home. Really quick working pitcher. 1-2 to Sinsley. Low and inside. Easy for Sinsley to lay off yet again. With the loss last night, Gateway dropped under 500. Hard to believe that this team that was off to such a hot start in the West Division is now struggling. 2-2 to Sinsley. Lifted out towards left center field. Chasing in his Pinner. Parks underneath it and grabs it for out number 1. It's going to be really hard to get base hits to left field and center field because of how sharp that wind is blowing. If it gets over the walls, or at least higher than the walls, the wind is going to kill it. The 5-hole hitter, left fielder J.R. Davis, makes his way to the plate now. In last night's game, Davis was 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. He and McNamee were the only two with multi-hit games. First pitch to Davis. Ball stays a bit too high, right above the elbows. Williams nods at his sign, sends home a 1-0. That one falls a bit too low, and he's behind the count 2-0. Count to J.R. Davis. He lets it go for a called strike on the outside edge. Anthony Torrales is batting in the 6th hole. He's on deck right now. Highest position he's seen thus far, and he's rightfully so earned it. 2-1 to Davis stays low, and it's a 3-1 count. Anthony Torrales has only played in 10 games for the Otters. This is his 9th start. He's 9 for 27 for a .333 average. It's been really fun to watch him succeed. Grabbed his 2nd professional home run. Oh yeah, I should also mention that. These are all his first professional games right out of college. Looks like a natural. 3-2 to Davis. Almost catches him. Did it hit him? They're going to say it actually hit him. It would have been ball 4 if it didn't hit him. And with 1 out, there's a runner on first via the hit by pitch for the Otters. Anthony Torrales at the time looked like he was brought in to be just a kind of rotational guy, a individual you could have on the bench to hop in there and give a guy a night off here and there. But he's quickly developed into a guy who has earned a starting spot each and every night. His defense is very good, and his bat is right up there with it. First pitch to Torrales is a called strike at the knees. Davis got a big jump, but really no intentions to steal yet. On the season, J.R. Davis is 1 for 4 in stolen base attempts. The 0-1 to Torrales. Called strike 2 on the outside edge. He just kind of looked fooled on that one. If Torrales finds a way on or does not ground into a double play, George Khalil's on deck after having last night off. 0-2, stays outside for ball 1. Good work from Hernandez to try to frame that. Had to do just a little too much, however. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Torrales. Looking to stay defensive at the plate. The 1-2. This one sent high, foul, out of play to the right side towards the parking lot. Count stays firm at 1-2. Defense is playing at a double play depth all the way around. In the outfield, fairly deep. The 1-2 pushed out towards the right side. Is it going to go foul? It is. Don't think it had the distance to be a home run right in the corner, but it ended up about 10 feet foul to the right side. Might have been off of the wall, maybe off of that black fence out there, which would have been a home run. Hard to tell exactly where it would have hit. Couldn't quite will it into fair territory. So he'll look again at a 1-2 count. The 1-2. Torreyes skies it high on the first base side. It looks like it's in play, and it lands on top of the dugout out of play. Heads up towards the concourse. So Anthony will live to see another pitch. Good work to stay defensive at the plate. 3 straight foul balls. One ball, 2 strikes for Anthony Torreyes. Pitch is coming home. Again, it's fouled off to the right side. This one back into the netting. And Torreyes has fouled off 4 straight pitches now. 1 ball, 2 strikes for the third baseman, Torreyes. Grounds one to the left side. Picked up by Rosario to second for 1. It falls out of the glove. Falls out of the glove of Achenbach. J.R. Davis kind of helped out by sliding in feet first and helped push the ball away a little bit, and both men will be safe. So Achenbach credited with an error after the fielder's choice. Officially a fielder's choice E4 in the book that allows Torreyes to reach first, Davis to reach second. George Khalil into the box, starts off with ball 1. Did not play in last night's game, but on Saturday night, he was 0 for 3. Had a sacrifice bunt that set up an RBI, however. Picked up a double on Friday night. 1-0 on the way to Khalil. Stays low, and it's a 2-0 count. Achenbach has his 4th error of the year with that one. Other than Freeman over at first, he had the fewest amount of errors in this infield. Now he's tied with Rosario there at third. The 2-0 count to George Khalil. That one sneaks in the inside just underneath the elbows. We're called strike 1. George Khalil quickly back in the box, just shy of a 250 average on the season. 2 home runs on the year. One of them came here. Right back up the middle, off the glove of the pitcher Williams. It'll be picked up by Diaz over to first in time. An unconventional 1-6-3 putout for out number 2. So that allows runners to advance to both second and third as the catcher Justin Felix heads to the plate. He had last night off. Felix is looking to add to his hot last couple of weeks. In his last 8 games, he has 3 home runs. Starts off with a 1-0 count on a ball that was low and away. If he can bring runs in, it would be unearned at this point. Felix just looking to snag a couple of runs. Ooh, that's a nice pitch from Williams that he graced into the high outside corner. Called strike 1, count evens up. Felix just needs to drop something into the outfield. Torreyes is quick enough out there that he could score from second. The 1-1. Felix skies this one foul to the right side. It'll end up towards the bleacher seating out there in right field. And Justin Felix is down 1-2 in the count. Would be unfortunate to see the Otters let up this opportunity. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the catcher, Felix. Pitch on the way. Stays low and away. 4 ball, 2. The deuces are wild. Williams looks in for his sign. 2-2 count. 2 outs, 2 on. Otters trail by 1. And Williams is going to step off and refresh signs. If Felix can do something here, Armstrong is on deck. He has been hot in this series. The 2-2. Catches the zone, a called strike 3 on the outside edge, and the inning ends. Otters unable to bring home a couple runners in scoring position. We head to the bottom half of the second. Otters trail by 1. And as we head to the bottom of the second inning, for just the second time all series, the Otters are unable to score after allowing a run. So Brett Adcock will look to keep the game where it's at, a 1-0 advantage in favor of the Gateway Grizzlies. He's going to face Prather, Diaz, and Hernandez. Prather has had a on and off series thus far. If you bounce back to Friday night, he was in the 3-hole, had a sac fly RBI that set the pace for the Grizzlies before they fell back behind. But ever since, he has struggled a bit. Making his way to the plate, Jay Prather, the left fielder, enters the game with a .267 batting average. This year, as Adcock has worked with Justin Felix behind the plate as his battery partner, he's got a 2-0 record. The first pitch to Prather is fouled back. Like I said, the pitcher-catcher battery of Adcock and Felix has a 2-0 record. In just under 17 innings of work, they've allowed 10 runs, only 9 earned on 22 hits, 13 walks, 14 strikeouts. All 4 of the home runs that Adcock's allowed have been in this battery combination. As a battery, they've given up a battery ERA of 4.88. One ball, one strike to Jay Prather. Pitch on the way. It's a called strike on the outside edge. Felix has clocked over 225 innings of work behind the plate, and alongside his pitchers have given up just 89 earned runs for a catcher ERA of 3.54. A 1-2 is clipped foul back towards the netting. Good work from Prather to keep himself alive. That's what you want to keep an eye on in this game. Can Adcock close out at-bats quickly, or does he have lots go these 3, 4, 5 foul balls with 2 strikes? If he can grab some quick outs, that'll allow him to go 6 or 7 innings. A 1-2 to Prather. This one's lifted high, foul behind home plate and out of play, and yet again, it's a 1-2 count. Just like last night, every time I look down, it seems there's more people that have found their seats. A pretty good crowd here from Sojay on a Monday night. The only time the Otters play on a Monday night all year. A 1-2. Called strike 3 on the outside edge. And it's the first German-American Bank strikeout of the day for Brett Adcock. That'll bring up the shortstop, Abdiel Diaz. Only time all year the Otters play on a Monday night is tonight. From here on out, the Otters have 3 game sets the rest of the year and play Tuesday through Sunday the rest of the year, other than the All-Star break in a couple of weeks. First pitch to Diaz is a called strike that falls into the zone at the last second. Wind is continuing to blow straight in from left center field. Got to keep the ball low if you're going towards the outfield. Adcock bounces one in. And the count evens up at 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike for Abdiel Diaz. Adcock kicks and delivers. It bounces in as well, and the count's at 2-1. Adcock is used to having some guys chase a pitch like that. Wasn't able to this time, though. 2 balls, 1 strike. Pitch is on the way. Stays high, ball 3. Three-one count. Adcock's ready. Steps back and sends it home, and it bounces it again. It's a 5-pitch walk to Abdiel Diaz. Started off with a first pitch strike, and then it was back-to-back balls. Allow Diaz to reach first. Watch out. He is a guy who likes to sneak some extra bases. On Wednesday night at Bosse Field, join us as Astound sponsors Senior Connection Wednesday. If you're an individual 55 years of age or older, you've got a $2 general admission ticket sitting at the box office for you. Thanks to our friends from Astound. Swinging strike 1 for Alex Hernandez. Starts off his count. Hernandez batting under 100 on the year. Good sized lead over there at first for Diaz. Pitch is coming home. It's a called strike 2, and Hernandez quickly down on 2 in the count. Justin Felix has caught 9 runners on their way towards second or third. He's got a 24% caught stealing rate. 0-2, they're going to go check on the runner at first. He's back in plenty of time. Count remains 0-2, obviously. On Thursday, as the Otters and Schaumburg conclude their final game at Bosse Field this year, join us for Thirsty Thursday. And then on Friday, Habitat for Humanity and Eyewitness News WHT joins us for giveaways and raffles. A great night at Bosse Field. Ball is clipped foul down the left field line. If you'd like to see a full list of these, go to EvansvilleOtters.com/promotions. You can see them all. Every game this week outside of Sunday is a 6:35. Saturday is when you're going to really want to make plans to be at Bosse Field. Heritage Federal Credit Union and Boys and Girls Club are joining us for a League of Their Own night. We're going to have a themed jersey auction, hat giveaway, post-game fireworks, all while we celebrate A League of Their Own. Of course, the film that was released just over 30 years ago and filmed there at Bosse Field in Evansville. Back-to-back foul balls have Hernandez still living at an 0-2 count. This is what's hurt Adcock all year long. 0-2, skied out towards left center field. Long run for Gordon. It'll fall in for a base hit, and there's runners on first and second. Adcock got himself out to that 0-2 advantage, but then had 3 back-to-back foul balls and wasn't able to really do anything to it. And because of that, watches there being runners on first and second now. That's what's really hurt the pitch count for Adcock all year long. Adcock takes his time before heading back up to the bump. Finally ready. Hernandez on first, Diaz at second with 1 out. Here in the bottom of the second, Otters already trail 1-0. First pitch to Rosario. Just misses at the elbows with the curveball from Brett Adcock. Tried to let it fall into the zone, and it didn't fall quite enough. 1-0 count for Jose Rosario, who bats .250 on the year. Pitch headed his way, and it stays even higher, ball 2. Adcock looks a bit frustrated up there on the bump. Adcock is already past 35 pitches, and we're still in the second inning. 2-0, headed home to Rosario. This one is skied high to shallow center field. Khalil's going to get underneath it. and bring it in for out number 2. An absolute gift there for the Otters, as now the leadoff man for the Grizzlies, center fielder Andrew Penner, heads to the plate. He singled to lead off the game for Gateway. Ended up scoring on the RBI from Achenbach. His run is the only one that we've seen in this game on either side. First pitch to Penner. Ball 1 up high. A lot of where Adcock has missed has been high in this game. Adcock ready for his 40th pitch of the evening here. It's on the way. Works high and outside. And this time Adcock takes a couple extra seconds before stepping back towards the bump. Looking at a 2-0 count, really struggling to find the zone early in this one. The 2-0. Called strike on the high outside corner. Two-one count for Andrew Penner. Adcock glances back towards second, fires home. It's sent out towards right field. Chasing towards it is McNamee. It's going to stay foul, however. The count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Deuces wild as they were in the last half inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Andrew Penner having to wait a long time. Brett Adcock finally has the pitch he wants. Glance towards second, the 2-2. Swinging strike 3. And a German-American Bank strikeout, the second of the day for Adcock, ends the second. Otters still trail, but it's only by 1 as we head to the 3rd inning. To the top of the 3rd inning we can go, and we'll see Andy Armstrong, Elijah McNamee, and Zach Bierman here in the half inning. Been really fun to watch Andy Armstrong work in this series thus far. Been mighty consistent for the Otters, including his first home run of the season last night. First pitch to him. Bat shatters towards the left side. Diaz will pick it up to first in time. That bat almost went further than the ball. And Andy Armstrong is retired on the 6-3. So that'll bring up Elijah McNamee. McNamee struck out his first time up. First pitch he sees here is high and inside, ball one. He has to kind of turn out of the way. Williams has himself set the 1-0. Again, it works too far inside, and it's a 2-0 count. Two balls, no strikes for Elijah McNamee. It's fouled high and outside. Will go straight back, gets away. Now a 2-0 count for Big Hit Mac, and that's exactly what he was last night. 2 solo home runs. First time all year he's had a multi-home run game. Called strike one on the high outside corner. In fact, he became the 5th different honor with a multi-home run game. Joins Bierman, Sinsley, Phillips, and Gordon. 2-1, skied out towards center field, but the wind is not going to help that one at all. Pinner will cramp underneath it and bring it in for out number 2. So that'll bring up the hard-hitting designated hitter of Zach Bierman. Bierman trying to find some big games for him. He had a couple of multi-hit outings on the long road trip the Otters had last week. The team came home to face off with Joliet. He had 1 hit in each of those 3 games and has managed a single hit in 2 of the 3 games he's played in this series. He starts with a called strike 1 on the outside edge. He's down 0-1 in the count. Williams quickly ready for the next pitch. Here it comes. Stays low and the count evens up. The center fielder, Andrew Pinner, is playing significantly towards right field. And the right fielder, Bernard, is playing basically at the wall. Bierman goes ahead 2-1 in the count after another low pitch. And here comes the 2-1 to Zach Bierman. Zoom down the right field line, just foul. Out of the hands of Billy Easley. The count evens up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Williams kicks and delivers on the 2-2. Works a bit too far inside near the ankles of Bierman. And his count is now full. The 3-2. Swinging strike 3. It's the 4th strikeout of the day for J.P. Williams. This one will sit down Zach Bierman. And after 2.5, it's Grizzlies 1, Otters 0. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Brett Adcock and the Otters return to the field, still trailing by a run. They were unable to even get a runner on in that 3rd inning, still searching for their first hit in the game as well. They'll get another try, but they've got to get through the defensive half inning. First, Adcock ready to go up on the bump. Through 2 innings, Adcock is already at 44 pitches, so he's got to have a couple of quick innings now. First pitch is a curveball that goes low and away for ball 1. Isaac Bernard had a single in the first time up, but then was part of a fielder's choice that eliminated him on the base paths. Adcock skips one in for ball 2, and he's down a couple in the count. Adcock looked a little unhappy with his landing spot up there on the mound. The 2-0 to Bernard. Catches the zone at the knees for a called strike 1. Defense is playing straight up, both in the infield and the outfield. A 2-1. Right back up the middle, past Adcock, picked up by Khalil. The throw to first. Oh, nice play there from the Australian shortstop, George Khalil, to make that exchange and toss it over. They'll bring up the second baseman, Trevor Achenbach. His first time up, an RBI fielder's choice. Right now, that is the decider in this game. Adcock already ready to go up on the bump. First pitch on the way from Brett. It's a bit low for ball 1. Didn't bounce in, but it just stayed a bit too low, maybe ankle high. 1-0's on the way home. A half swing. They check down. They say no, he did not. So the count advances to 2-0. There's no penalty for asking for a check down to see if the man went around, so why not always ask for it? And Adcock took that opportunity there. 2-0 to Achenbach. Zoomed out to left field, back towards the corner, and it's off the wall. Grabbed by J.R. Davis. A hefty throw towards second is off the line. It's a stand-up double for Trevor Achenbach. That came off the bat in a hurry, but it just lacked the height, and the little bit of breeze coming from that way didn't help much either. But he'll take the double any day. It'll bring up the first baseman, Clint Freeman. He's got an RBI chance here. He has 30 RBIs on the season and a .271 average. Freeman's first time up, he flied out to center field. It was rather uninspiring as it went out there. The wind really didn't help it at all. Hefty swinging strike 1 from him. He's down 0-1 in the count. No balls, 1 strike. The 0-1. Just misses on the outside edge. Adcock asks, that was outside, and he gets a nod from the home plate umpire, Trevor Klosterman. 1 ball, 1 strike to Clint Freeman. The 1-1 on its way. Sent foul to the left side off of the Otters dugout. Sounds like there's some availability this week in the Corona patio deck and the 2 picnic decks there at Bosse Field. If you'd like to schedule your group to come out anytime this week, give a call to our front office anytime at 812-435-8686, and they would love to set you up for a beautiful night at the ballpark in one of our awesome picnic areas. The 1-2 on the way to Freeman. Swinging strike 3. That's the 3rd German American Bank strikeout of the game for Brett Adcock. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Cesar Trejo. He's 0 for 1 in the game, a ground out that ended the first inning. Long look out to second for Adcock. The first pitch to Trejo Called strike that just fell into the zone. That was a nice looking pitch there. Oh, 1 count to Cesar Trejo. A glance out towards second for Adcock, and the 0-1's on its way home. That's sent straight back into the netting, and it's quickly an 0-2 count for Trejo. Now, Trejo's last time up, he went down to 0-2 quickly, but then fouled off 4 straight pitches before grounding out. Every single one helped work that pitch count to Brett Adcock up, up, up. Adcock really taking his time to look in for his sign. Still looking in for his sign. And he's going to step off. No balls, 2 strikes for Cesar Trejo. Adcock ready much quicker this time. Here comes the 0-2. Way high and outside. Good grab from Felix to jump over there and keep it in front of him. One ball, 2 strikes for Cesar Trejo. An RBI chance for him. Adcock wants to shut it down. A 1-2 sent grounding towards Khalil at short. The throw to first is in plenty of time for out number 3. And a 1-out double does not come back to haunt the Otters. We head to the 4th inning. Gateway leads the game 1-0 here on the Otters Digital Network. We're ready for the top of the 4th inning, and they just had a fan up on the dugout, their fan of the game, and asked him why he loved baseball, and it took him a second to think of an answer. It's a good question. So if you're listening here on our YouTube stream, go ahead and throw in the comments why you love the game of baseball. Let's just kind of see what people think. I'll kind of take a look at what everyone else says, and then I'll give my answer later in the game as well. Why do you love the game of baseball? I can tell you there's a group of 24 guys that love the game of baseball. They're wearing blue with Otters written across the front. One of them, Miles Gordon, at the plate now. First pitch to him is high outside, ball 1. Gordon struck out his first time up, swinging. That ended the 1st inning. 1-0 count, pitch headed home to Gordon. Catches the zone on the outside edge for a called strike. One ball, 1 strike to Miles Gordon. 1-1 is sent foul back straight away. And it bounced off the turf after being fouled off by Gordon, through the legs of the catcher Hernandez, and actually caught the home plate umpire. And everyone will take a brief second just to make sure Trevor Klosterman's all right. One ball, 2 strikes for Miles Gordon. He's waiting on as the trainer comes out and takes a look at Trevor Klosterman. Just caught a foul ball just right. The Pitcher J.P. Williams and catcher Alex Hernandez are having a quick discussion there up on the bump. Looks like we're all good to go now. Trevor Klosterman gives a thumbs up. He shares a smile with Miles Gordon, who's looking at a 1-ball, 2 strikes count. Has to find a way to stay defensive. 1-2, the count to Miles Gordon. That's sent fouling straight back as well. That one doesn't hit the home plate umpire, Trevor Klosterman. So the count's at 1 ball, 2 strikes for the center fielder, Gordon. Pitch on the way. Gordon lays off, and it's ball 2 on the outside edge. Not by too much, though. Williams readies for the 2-2. Right back up the middle. Great diving play by Diaz. The throw to first is not in time. Oh, boy, that would have been another highlight reel play in this weekend. But Diaz's throw goes just high enough that by the time Freeman had to climb the ladder to grab it, it was just not enough. It'll be a leadoff base hit for Miles Gordon. First hit for the Otters comes in the top of the 4th. One of their best bats, Steven Sinsley's at the plate now. First pitch to Sinsley. Called strike 1 on the outside edge. Sinsley's first time up, he flew out to center field. Long look over to first by J.P. Williams. The 0-1 to Sinsley. Stays low and gets away from Hernandez, but he keeps it close enough that Gordon can't go anywhere. Steven Sinsley is a pitcher or a hitter you got to be careful against if you are a pitcher. You leave something up in the zone, and Sinsley is going to assure you that you're not going to see the ball again. I mean, he absolutely can crush balls to right field. It doesn't matter what ballpark he's playing in. He's put some over the second wall at Bossy Field. 1-1 is the count for Steven Sinsley. He's got a runner on first in front of him, no outs. Otters trail by 1. The 1-1 for Sinsley. Gordon shows like he was going to run, and it's ball 2 towards Sinsley. 2 balls, 1 strike. Now for the first baseman, Sinsley. The 2-1. There goes Gordon for real this time. It's sent high into the infield. Underneath it seems to be the third baseman, Rosario, and he brings it in for out number 1. Gordon's going to have to retreat back to first. That'll bring up the left fielder, J.R. Davis. Hit by a pitch his first time up, but was stranded at third and missed opportunity for the Otters in that half inning. So J.R. Davis heads to the plate with 1 out, 1 on. First pitch to him, and it's actually going to be over to first instead. Gordon's back in time. J.R. Davis just a hair underneath a 300 batting average, helped out by his 2 hits last night. First pitch to him is a swinging strike 1, a pitch that was so low it got away from Hernandez afterwards, but it's strike 1 regardless. Stadium lights are on here at GCS Credit Union Ballpark, but right now it's still the sun doing the work. Again, a throw over to first, and again, Gordon's back in time. No balls, 1 strike. J.R. Davis ready at the plate. Pitch is headed his way. There goes Gordon. The throw out to second looks good. Is Gordon in? No, he's not. Wonderful throw from Hernandez. Gordon opted for the feet first slide as opposed to the head first slide. He might have been safe had he done that instead, but it's now 2 down for the Otters. And the left fielder, J.R. Davis, is looking at a 1-1 count with nobody on and 2 outs. Right back up the middle, gets past Achenbach. That could have favored the Otters a little more if they still had a runner on, but now it's 2 outs and a solo runner on. J.R. Davis singles back up the middle. Brings up the third baseman, Anthony Torrellas, who made it on base on a fielder's choice his first time up, but was stranded at second. Torrellas managed his second professional home run last night. Pushed it off towards right field. Big smile on his face afterwards, of course. First pitch to him. Laser to the left side. Picked up by Rosario to second for the one they need. And that ends the top of the fourth. Otters started it with some excitement. Got a leadoff single. Weren't able to do anything with it. We head to the bottom half of the fourth. Otters still trail by 1. Adcock kicks off the inning with a pitch that gets sent right back towards left field. And on the run, J.R. Davis able to bring it in for out number 1. Long run for him, but the quick legs of Davis is able to bring it in. So quick 1 up, 1 down for Jay Prather. That'll bring up Abdiel Diaz. Otters trail by 1 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And as we entered the bottom of the 4th, Brett Adcock already at 60 pitches. First pitch to Abdiel Diaz on the way. Called strike 1. It's the exact same way Diaz started his last at-bat, a called strike 1, and then he saw 4 straight balls to walk to first. Sent home by Adcock. The throw from Torrellas. Difficult throw. Zooming around was Sinsley trying to tag him on his way to first, but he just missed the tag, so it's an infield single for Abdiel Diaz. He hit that sharply into the ground. It took such a high hop. Torrellas didn't really have any decision but to wait for it. And they're actually going to call an error on Torrellas, saying the throw was wild. So that'll bring up the catcher, Alex Hernandez. Grabbed a single his last time up. First pitch home, zoomed down the third base line, but just foul. Oh, 1 count to Alex Hernandez. His last time up, saw an 0-2 count quickly, fouled off 3 straight pitches, and then zoomed one into left center field for a base hit. 0-1 stays a bit high for ball 1. Adcock sees the count fill up to even now at 1-1. Defense played straight up all the way around, double play positioning in the infield. Adcock glances towards first, long look over there. He's going to throw over. Counts even at 1-1. There's 1 out and 1 on. Grizzlies lead by 1. Only the second time all season that the Otters have failed to bounce right back against the Grizzlies in an inning. 1-1, and time was called by Hernandez milliseconds before the pitch happened. We'll have to wait all again. Otters head right back home after this. 3 games against Schaumburg at home, 3 games against Florence at home. 6 straight games there at Bosse Field. Love to see you there. 1-1 count, catches the zone on the inside edge, called strike 2. If you want to grab tickets to any of the 6 games this week, at EvansvilleOtters.com. Great promotions going on all week, including a League of Their Own night on Saturday night. 1-2 from Adcock. Oh, just misses on the low outside edge. Adcock had gotten that one called for him a couple times, and he does look frustrated after that. Certainly takes his time before walking back up to the bump. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's 1 out and 1 on. Alex Hernandez trying to be a difficult out yet again. 2-2, they caught him in a rundown over at first. The throw to second, past Khalil, all the way out into left. Luckily, Davis was there, but a wild throw from Sinsley will allow Diaz to reach. An error there on Sinsley. Absolutely wild throw from Steven Sinsley. One of the first times in, and I couldn't even tell you the last time we've seen 2 errors on the Otters in the same inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes yet again to Hernandez. And Adcock turns around and fakes a throw back. Safe to say that Abdiel Diaz is really living in the head of Brett Adcock right now. Sun is starting to finally set here at GCS Credit Union Ballpark. Left fielder Davis, the only one that has sun in his eyes. 2-2, falls in, called strike 3. And it's the 4th German-American Bank strikeout of the game for Brett Adcock. Couldn't have come at a more important time. Alex Hernandez frustrated with the call. It'll bring up the 9-hole hitter Jose Rosario. He popped out to the shortstop his first time up. Otters need an out kind of like that, one that just kind of works in their favor here. He dropped something in the outfield. Man, he even sent something right at one of the outfielders, and Diaz would still probably score. First pitch falls in for a called strike 1 on the low outside corner. Now Adcock's got to find a way to back up the first pitch strike with another one. No action in either bullpen, kind of as expected at least right now. Wind still blowing in from left center field. The 0-1 from Brett Adcock. Sent off the handle of the bat towards Armstrong at second. Pretty easy out for him, and the inning ends yet again. The Grizzlies leave a run in scoring position. We head to the 5th inning. Otters trail by 1 here on the Otters Digital Network. Set for the top of the fifth inning. Otters are sending Khalil, Felix, and Armstrong to the plate. They managed a couple of base hits in the last half inning, but couldn't do anything with them. A caught stealing and a fielder's choice really ended all the hopes for him rather quickly. Otters still looking for their first big burst of offense tonight. First pitch to George Khalil is a called strike one on the high outside corner. Good work from Williams to start off this at-bat. Felix and Armstrong due up as well in the inning. Khalil watches an 0-1, catch the zone, a little late call from Klosterman, but regardless, it's still strike two. Khalil turns back and asks a couple questions. Now sets back in. The 0-2 works further outside. Good pitch there from Williams to try to test Khalil. We've seen a couple times this year where Khalil has chased the pitch like that. 1-2 towards the shortstop, Khalil. Hefty swing, but he was a little behind it, and it's a strikeout, the fifth of the day for J.P. Williams. It'll bring up the catcher, Justin Felix, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the second. He struck out with 2 runners in scoring position. Could not do anything with them, obviously. Felix has 3 home runs in his last 8 games. Surprising power. He has kind of struggled in the last couple of weeks to have consistency at the plate. Really good to see him grab a 2-hit game somewhere in here and kind of re-kickstart the offense. Starts off with the ball up high, 1-0 count. Williams already ready up on the mound. Fires home on the 1-0. Way outside, good stop from Hernandez. The count's at 2-0. Felix takes a couple extra seconds before standing in. Ready to go on the 2-ball, no strike count to Justin Felix. Ooh, works a little bit high inside. Felix just gets out of the way in time. He's ahead in the count 3-0. Don't let Felix fool you with the .219 average. He's done well to get on base other ways, a .336 on base percentage. The 3-0. Outside ball 4. Justin Felix gets a free pass with 1 out here in the 5th inning. It'll bring up the second baseman, Andy Armstrong, who entering this game in the 3-game set thus far was 5 for 12, including his first home run of the season, his second professional home run last night. It came the night after he just about got one over the left field wall. Armstrong digs in, ready to go with the first pitch of this at-bat. 0 for 1 with a ground out so far in this game. Takes the first pitch for a called strike on the outside edge. Andy Armstrong, the former Oregon State Beaver, hails from Salem, not too far from there. Oh, 1 count for him. Pitch on the way. Big swing, and it got through the legs of Hernandez, and Armstrong's quickly down 0-2 in the count. Last time Armstrong was down 0-2 in the count, he did well to foul a couple pitches off and keep himself alive. Felix has a small lead over at first. The 0-2. Catches the outside edge, a called strike 3, and Armstrong's frustrated. It's the 6th strikeout of the day for J.P. Williams. This one is good for the 2nd out of the inning, and there's a runner on first for the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game, Elijah McNamee. Big hit Mac is 0 for 2 on the day, but had 2 solo home runs yesterday. Needs something to spark his day today. First pitch to him, way outside ball 1. McNamee really taking his time to get back in. Here comes the 1-0. Swinging strike 1 evens the count up, a ball and a strike. That pitch just broke low and away from him, and he kind of chased a little bit. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 on and 2 outs, and time is quickly called. Wind is still blowing straight in from left field. 1-1 to Elijah McNamee. Sent off to the right side, foul out of play, will end up in the bleacher seating. The count falls to 1-2. McNamee on the day, a strikeout and a fly out to center field. It just died once it got up in the air out there. Felix stands with a small lead off first with 2 outs. Pitch quickly coming home. McNamee sends it sharply to Diaz to second for the one they need. That ends the 5th inning. Otters yet again can't link any hits together. Still trail this game 1-0 as we head to the bottom half of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th, and Brett Adcock and the Otters have to return to the defensive alignment, still down by a run. First pitch for Adcock to Penner. Called strike on the low outside corner. Adcock's pitch count is one that he's always had to worry about. He's already at 69 pitches through 4 innings. Did better in that last half inning to limit it a little bit more. 0-1, bounces in, count's evened up. There is no one warming up for the Otters right now, so at least for the 5th, they still have their faith in Brett Adcock. 1 ball, 1 strike to the former Otter, Andrew Penner. Pitch on the way home. Just misses on the inside edge, and it's a 2-1 count. Defense is set up pretty much straight around except for the shortstop Khalil, who's playing basically right in the gap between second and third. 2-1 to Penner. Sent foul to the left side. Hot shot towards the Otters dugout. Evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Schaumburg and Florence headed to town this week. Love to see you out at Bosse Field. EvansvilleOtters.com is where you can buy your tickets. 2-2 to Penner. Sent towards Torrelos at third on 1 hop. The throw over to first is in plenty of time to retire Penner to lead off the 5th inning. It'll bring up Isaac Bernard, who's 1 for 2. At this time, let's work through the Fox Sports WYFX Frontier League scoreboard. In the top of the 8th, the Sussex County Miners have an 11-4 lead at New York. In the top of the 9th, Tri-City leads 7-3 over Ottawa. Titans are down to their last 2 outs on their 4th of July game. First pitch to Isaac Bernard. Called strike just above the knees on the inside. At the bottom of the 6th, the Schaumburg Boomers hold a 4-2 lead over the Florence Yalls. Zooming from behind are the Washington Wild Things. They now lead 11-6 in the top of the 6th inning. Swinging strike 2 from Bernard, chased a bit low. Those are the only 4 games other than ours going on this evening. Otters, of course, hoping for a Washington loss because a Otters win and a Washington loss takes the gap between them to just a half a game. 0-2 count, sent towards the netting on the left side. As for some of the series we're going to be seeing this week, Empire State north of the border to face the Trois-Rivières Eagles. New Jersey on the road north of the border to face the Ottawa Titans. Quebec down at the Tri-Cities to face the Valley Cats. And a breaking ball in the outside corner is a called strike 3 against Bernard. It's the 5th German-American Bank strikeout of the game for Brett Adcock. And for the first time all night long, Adcock starts off an inning 2 up, 2 down. But unfortunately, it brings up the second baseman Trevor Achenbaugh, who seems to have Brett Adcock's number in this game so far. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first and scored a run on it. In the second, had a hard hit double off the left field wall. Starts off this count with a swinging strike 1 low. There's 2 outs and nobody on, an 0-1 count to Trevor Achenbaugh, the league's leader in home runs. 0-1, stays just a bit low, count evens up. Adcock easy to tell apart from the other Otters pitchers. Of course, one being he's the only lefty, the other being the bright red glove that he dons up down the bump. A 1-1 bounces in. Felix was able to keep it in front of him, but with nobody on, it didn't really matter. Otters have 2 men available on the bench if they're needed tonight, Jeffrey Baez and Brody Tanksley. Still no Dakota Phillips on the lineup sheet after he fell kind of awkwardly a couple nights ago. Still unsure as to how long he might be out. 2-1 on the way to Achenbaugh. Ooh, big breaking ball, just never really got its downward bend. Easy for Achenbaugh to lay off. It's a 3-1 count. If Achenbaugh can make it on, Clint Freeman follows, and that's another big bat for the Grizzlies. 3-1 on the way. Called strike on the high outside corner. Achenbaugh was already standing on first, and he'll have to make a couple steps, walk back, and retry now with a full count. No out, or no on, 2 outs, and a big pitch for Brett Adcock. The payoff pitch, sent high and foul to the right side, out of play, and we'll do it all again. New day, same game for Brett Adcock. Watch as his pitch count soar because a lot of batters are just hitting foul ball after foul ball, working his count up rather quickly. The 3-2, and it stays just a hair low. Achenbaugh is going to earn a hard-earned walk with 2 outs. And as close as he was to it, Brett Adcock's going to have to wait at least one more inning if he'd like to have a 3 up, 3 down. It'll bring up the first baseman, Clint Freeman, batting .271. That really doesn't tell you the kind of hitter he is. Hits hard, hits strong, and can make you pay if you leave something up high for him. First pitch on the way. He skies this one to the left side. It's foul, and it's going to be out of play. Ends up on the concourse. And a wonderful catch by a fan in his hat over there. Adcock is not able to let that one stay in the zone. At least someone made a nice play. It's an 0-1 count. Of course, we've seen Torrellis make a couple nice plays in foul territory over there as well. Not quite that far. 0-2 count now for Clint Freeman. Adcock gave up the walk, bounces back with 2 really quick strikes on foul balls to Clint Freeman. Gotta find a way now to close off the hitter and close out the inning. Keep this game where it's at. Adcock stares down Achenbaugh at first. The 0-2, way outside, trying to catch Freeman to chase. Not on something that far, though. Adcock is well over 85 pitches now in the game. Very well could be seeing his last inning of work. 1-2. Swinging strike 3. And the fifth's going to end on a nice pitch from Brett Adcock. He's able to walk off the mound in one of his easier half innings, I'd say. We head to the 6th inning. Otters still trailing by a run here on the Otters Digital Network. 6th inning coming at you next. The hard-hitting part of the lineup, 2 up for Evansville. Here in the top of the 6th, Zach Bierman, Miles Gordon, Steven Sinsley, and if needed, J.R. Davis. Zach Bierman, the first one up, a heavy shift on him. The second baseman, Achenbaugh, playing a shallow right field. First pitch just misses on the outside edge of ball 1 left alone by Zach Bierman. First pitch towards him. Stays low, and he's ahead 2-0. Bierman zoomed out to the league lead in home runs with 13, but has stayed dormant for about a week and a half now. It's allowed a couple individuals, including Trevor Achenbaugh, out there at second to pass him up. Called strike 1, causes Bierman to fall back in the count 2-1. Has himself ready. 2-1 on the way towards him. Turns on it hard, but he was just a bit early and fouls it off to the left side. Out of play towards the concourse. Counts evened up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bierman ready on the 2-2. Sends it down the first base line. Billy Easley has it go out of his hands. First base coach. Count remains at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bierman has struggled to find consistency in the last couple of weeks. What he's looking for now, a 2-2. Zoomed out to right field. Bernard towards the wall, gone! Zach Bierman with one swing of the bat has tied the game at 1 run apiece. Tell you what, he was due. And this is the perfect place to cash in on one. Make it 14 on the season for the big man. And this game is tied. That will bring up Miles Gordon. As for Zach Bierman, it's number 14 on the year, his 11th solo home run. He's done 11 of the 14 on right-handed hitters. First pitch sent to Miles Gordon is outside ball 1. He was showing bunt. Williams is going to have to shake it off and get right back out there. The 1-0 to Gordon. He sends it towards the left field side. Prather chasing it down towards the warning track. Long run, and Prather makes it. That's a nice play out there from Jay Prather. That'll bring up Steven Sinsley now with 1 out and none on. Sinsley, another one that can make you pay on leaving a pitch up and in. Sinsley shortly behind with 9 home runs on this Otters squad. And just like they did for Bierman, the shift is on. First pitch bounces in on the inside edge for a ball 1. Looks like we're starting to see some action in the Gateway bullpen now. 1-0, called, strike 1. Williams had no doubt on that pitch. Otters looking like they're going to stick with Brett Adcock in the 6th. No movement in their bullpen. 1-1 to Sinsley, way outside. He's ahead in the count 2-1. Sinsley digs back in, looking at a 2-1 count. Sends one sharply foul to the right side. Still looking at a 2-2 count now. Sinsley is just barely underneath the 300 batting average line. He's been kind of bouncing back and forth for a lot of this season. 2-2 for Sinsley. Way inside, and he's got a full count looking at him. Full shift on for Sinsley. The shortstop Diaz is playing not too far away from second base. The 3-2. Low and outside, ball 4. Hard-earned walk for Steven Sinsley. And it's the first time Sinsley's made it on base in the game. It brings up J.R. Davis. But first, we're going to have a quick sermon on the mound from Steve Brook, the head man for this Gateway team. They'll go have a talk up there, and there's going to be a pitching change. We'll let you know who it is right after this. Otters have tied the game at 1 run apiece on a line ball home run from Zach Bierman. We're still here in the top of the 6th inning, tied at 1 run apiece. Still sitting here in the top of the 6th inning, Nick Kennedy called upon from the bullpen. This call to the bullpen is presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Kennedy on the mound, Hernandez behind the plate. That pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road in Evansville. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. Let them know that Zach Bierman sent you. Bierman's solo home run has tied the game at 1 run apiece. Otters are trying to keep the momentum alive. They've got Sinsley at first, J.R. Davis at the plate with just 1 out. Davis has proved multiple times he's a home run threat too. Kennedy is a hard man to get a base hit off though. First pitch to Davis, called strike 1. That pitch works outward on Davis. It's released basically in line with the hips of Davis. That's where It's released by Kennedy up on the bump, and he works it outward. So it's a hard pitch to pick up. 0-1 to Davis. It's a little too far inside. Davis gets out of the way of it. Count evens up. It was brought up by Preston Lineback on the show last night. Davis has such a closed stance at the plate, but that's so that when he steps forward, his shoulders go a little bit later and he can really square up on the ball. 1-1, bounce toward the left side. Rosario picks it up. Long throw to first is in time, and they'll just get the one out there. It will advance Sinsley towards second. Call it a 5-3 fielder's choice. It brings up the third baseman, Anthony Torrellas, who grabbed his second home run of his career last night. Also had a sac fly RBI. Would love to see Torrellas drop something out there in the outfield and bring in Sinsley. First pitch for Anthony Torrellas is on the way in. Catches the inside edge of the zone. Torrellas in just his 9th start of his professional career. 2 weeks ago yesterday, he made his professional debut, picked up his first hit. 2 days later, he picked up his first multi-hit outing and his first professional home run. And he has just been hitting the ground running since then. Sends a ball dribbling to the left side and foul. He's down 0-2 in the count quickly. Well, even if the Otters are unable to bring Sinsley around, they've at least tied the game here in the 6th. Kennedy, long wait on the bump. Waiting on an 0-2 is Anthony Torrellas. Pitch is on the way. Ooh, works inside and catches Torrellas on the inside of the knee. He was in a lot of pain immediately. Able to take off the shin guard and work his way down to first. Puts on his oven mitt, and there's runners on first and second now to the hit by pitch to Torrellas. Brings up a man to the plate who is due for a solid contact base hit, George Khalil. Grabbed a hard-earned double on Friday night. That was his last base hit. First pitch to George Khalil. Cranked out to left field. Going back is Prather at the wall. Gone! Oh my goodness! A rocket off the bat of George Khalil, and 2 of his 3 professional home runs have come in this ballpark in this season. He'll touch them all. And the Otters have taken a 3-run advantage. Goodness. Not often we see George Khalil get a hold of a baseball like that. 399 feet to left. It's a 3-run home run, and the Otters lead 4-1. Knew it was only a matter of time before someone took control and got it. It's George Khalil who claims it. Justin Felix, the catcher, at the plate now. First pitch to him. Zoom down to left center field, down for a base hit. Justin Felix claims his first base hit of the game. Safe to say the bus is moving, and it was all started by Zach Bierman. That brings up Andy Armstrong. He has been really hot in this series, though, so far. 2 hits on Friday night, 2 hits on Saturday night, a home run last night, his first of the season. Looking for his first base hit in this game, and there's going to be a quick meeting up on the mound between Hernandez and Kennedy. And immediately, Ann is getting warmed up for the Grizzlies out in right field. And I guarantee you there's not one person in this entire ballpark breathing as easy as Brett Adcock, who has held this game very firm since that first inning and now has been given a little bit of leeway. I'm sure he is going to be thanking every member of this Otters offense now. Andy Armstrong waiting for his first pitch, a called strike. The slider caught the zone. Armstrong, another one that can really explode as he turns on the bat if he sees a pitch he likes. 0-1 on the way. Ooh, big swing, but he falls back, the count 0-2. There's 2 outs. Runners on first, or just a runner on first in Justin Felix. 0-2 the count to Andy Armstrong. Push ball towards the right side. It's going to end up foul. It'll curve out of play, though. Armstrong looking at an 0-2 count with 2 outs. Big pitch for Armstrong. It's on the way. Swinging strike 3, and the inning ends not before 2 home runs explode the game open for the Otters. They lead 4-1 as we head to the bottom half of the 6th. Time for Brett Adcock to pitch a little bit easier. We head to the bottom half of the 6th right after this on the Otters Digital Network. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Otters now up 4-1 after exploding for a solo home run from Zach Bierman and then a 3-run shot from George Khalil. I tell you what, that was one of the best swings George Khalil's put together all season long. He hit a home run to the most difficult place of the ballpark tonight. With the wind blowing in from left field, he put it over the left field wall 399 feet. The Otters have a 4-1 lead for their pitcher, Brett Adcock. Adcock's going to face Trejo, Prather, and Diaz. First pitch to Trejo works inside, ball 1. Want to let you know the finishing line for J.P. Williams. He goes 5 1/3 innings, giving up 2 runs on 3 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Right now he's in line for the loss unless the game either ties back up or reverses at some point. Trejo able to play off another one. He's ahead in the count 2-0. Seems as if the wind has picked up now, blowing in from left. 2-0 to Trejo. Kind of grazed back forward. The kid Adcock grabs over to it, throws the first in time for out number 1. Nice little play there from Adcock. It'll bring up the left fielder Jay Prather, who's 0 for 2, a flyout and a strikeout so far in the game. Right now, Brett Adcock is looking at 92 pitches. He did go 117 in his last start. Barring any runs in this half inning, if he could get through the last 2 outs, he would have a quality start. First pitch on the way, right back up the middle. Going to be down for a base hit. Gordon thought about pursuing it, safely retreated, and it's a 1-out single for Jay Prather. If Adcock was able to find his way to the end of the sixth. It would be just his second quality start of the year. His only other one in his Otters debut at Ottawa earlier in May. Brings up Abdiel Diaz, who's reached both times, once on an error, once on a walk. First pitch to him is a called strike on the high outside corner. Jay Prather has a decent lead over at first. The 0-1 for Abdiel Diaz. Zoomed out towards right field. McNamee back towards the wall at the warning track and hauls it in. So with 2 outs and a runner on first, it's now Alex Hernandez making his way to the dish. Hernandez is 1 for 2, a strong hit single in the second inning. Just laid it down in between the left fielder and center fielder, then struck out back in the 4th inning. Adcock is looking at a 6 strikeout day right now. I'm sure he'll be happy with that. First pitch home, way up high, ball 1. On the season, Adcock has only had 6 or more strikeouts once, and that was his 7-inning performance versus Joliet last week. 1 ball, no strikes for Alex Hernandez. Adcock throws it home. It's launched high, not very far. Torrellas is coming in to make a play in foul territory, and Torrellas hauls it in for out number 3. Quick inning there for Brett Adcock. Still unable to get a 3-up, 3-down, but we head to the 7th inning. Otters lead by 3. 7th inning coming at you next on the Otters Digital Network. Pleased you're joining us on your holiday weekend. We are into the back third of this one. Another pitching change needed for the Grizzlies. They're going to rely on Jared Milch coming out of the bullpen. This call to the bullpen is presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Milch on the mound. Hernandez behind the plate. That pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. You know what? Let them know that George Khalil sent you. A 3-run home run from Khalil has blown this game open in favor of the Otters. They lead 4-1 with a strong part of the lineup coming up. Elijah McNamee, Zach Bierman, and Miles Gordon. McNamee is 0 for 3 on the day. A strikeout, a flyout, and a fielder's choice. Looks like we are just about ready to get going with this top of the 7th inning. Otters are facing Jared Milch for the 3rd time this year. Obviously, they faced him a couple nights ago in a relief appearance for him. They also faced him on the 2nd night of the season when he was a starter for New Jersey. First pitch to McNamee is clipped through foul. for strike one. The Otters hit .249 against lefties, but I tell you what, it feels a whole lot lower than that. Really struggled against the left-handed hitters so far this year. 0-2 is the count towards McNamee now. Here comes the 0-2. Bounces in for ball one. Starting to get dark enough in the evening, we're going to start seeing fireworks out in the distance across center field. Then we'll have fireworks here at the ballpark. Then if you turn around 180, you'll see the downtown St. Louis fireworks about 10 o'clock. A 1-2 sent on the ground towards Diaz on the left side. The throw over to first in time. McNamee retired for the fourth time. It'll bring up the designated hitter, Zach Bierman. Bierman's last time up, he changed the game with a swing of the bat. His first home run in a couple of weeks, his 14th of the year, even the game at one run apiece. Bierman ready for the first pitch of this at-bat. On the way, big curveball, a called strike on the high inside corner. Bierman ready for the 0-1. Pitch is headed his way. Swinging strike two, just broke away from him. Bierman has an average set 0.75 points lower when it comes to hitting against a lefty. Pitch goes way outside and he stays alive. He's got a 325 average against righties, a 250 against lefties. He's really struggled against them. The 1-2 to Bierman. Swinging strike three. It's foul tipped into the glove of Hernandez. A foul tip strikeout for Bierman. The second strikeout of the game for him. The second of the game for Jared Milch. First of the game for Jared Milch. It'll bring up the center fielder, Miles Gordon, who is 1 for 3 in the game. A single back in the fourth, but he tried to steal second, was caught on his way. First pitch to him. Hefty swing, but it broke away from him. And right now, all of the Otters struggling with the lefty Milch. Defense is playing for a little bit of a shift towards Miles Gordon. The 0-1 on the way, and it's way outside. One ball, one strike. Towards Miles Gordon, long wait. Here comes the pitch from Jared Milch. Called strike right down the middle. One ball, two strikes. Way outside, the count evens up. Two balls, two strikes for Miles Gordon. Cranks one down the right field line, just foul. Ends up into the netting. The count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nobody on. Breeze still blowing in from center, left center field. The 2-2 to Miles Gordon, and time is called. Ready on the 2-2 is Gordon. Pitch is on the way. Breaks low and away. The count's full. If Gordon can find his way on, Steven Sinsley patiently waiting on deck. But first, a 3-2 payoff pitch to Miles Gordon. Low outside, ball 4. And it's a 2-out free pass for Miles Gordon. That brings up Steven Sinsley, who's 0 for 2 A fly out, a pop out, and a walk thus far in the day. Might start hearing the bangs in the background as fireworks start to go off around GCS Credit Union Ballpark here in Sauget, Illinois. First pitch to Sinsley. Big curveball. He sends it right back out towards center field. Pinner will drop back a few steps and bring it in for out number 3. We head to the bottom half of the 7th. Time to stretch from Sauget. Bottom of the 7th coming at you next on the Otters Digital Network. And as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning, Brett Adcock returns to the mound for the Otters. A bit surprising. We don't see the Otters at least warming someone up. Just means Max Peterson, the rest of the coaching staff have their faith in the kid, Brett Adcock. He's going to face the 9-1 two-hitters of Rosario, Pinner, and Bernard. The 3 have combined for just 2 base hits. They both came in the 1st inning. First pitch on the way. Called strike, high inside corner, right at the elbows. Rosario so far a pop out and a line out. The line out was off the handle of the bat. He didn't get a good swing on it. Falls down 0-2 after a breaking pitch just fell into the zone. Then Adcock has himself in line for his 7th strikeout of the game. Time is called by Jose Rosario. Here comes the 0-2 to Rosario. Zoom down the left field line, but just foul. Torrellis was playing close to the foul line, had it stayed fair, but it took off foul rather quickly, so he didn't have to worry about it. The 0-2 count. That sent foul off the mask of Felix and back into the netting. Count remains 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes for Jose Rosario. Pitch on the way from Adcock. Right back up at him, off of the pitcher's mound. Picked up by Khalil. The throw to first, bouncing in, gets past Sinsley. Felix does good to keep himself close to be able to back up the first baseman. You know, it's nice to see Sinsley try to commit to the play and give Khalil an opportunity. They're going to give a base hit, and rightfully so. That's a really difficult play for George Khalil to make in the first place. It kind of looked like we were playing on a grass field there, the way that ball slowed down once it started grounding its way up. Took a weird hop off of the mound as well. Brings up the leadoff man and former Otter Andrew Pinner. He's 1 for 3 with a single back in the first. He came around to score the only run for the Grizzlies thus far. He's looking at a called strike 1 on the inside edge. Bit of a generous call from Klauserman there. Otters do have a man warming up now. And it looks like it's Jacob Bowles. A pitch off the end of the bat drops Penner down 0-2 in the count. Otters are playing at double play depth, except Armstrong is playing just a little bit closer to second than usual to help kind of play for the pole. The 0-2. That one is skied towards shallow right field. Armstrong thinks he's underneath it, but McNamee's the one who calls everybody off and makes the play for out number 1. That will bring up the right fielder, Isaac Bernard, who singled in the first inning, was part of a fielder's choice, and retired in the inning. Then got robbed on a nice play from George Khalil back in the third inning. Now that he's turned his back, I can confirm it is Jacob Bowles starting to warm up for the Otters down there in left. First pitch to Bernard. Big curveball that never really broke, stayed high for ball 1. Otters playing at double play depth once again. 1-0 the count to Isaac Bernard. Pitches on the way home. Called, strike 1. Ball falls a couple inches underneath the elbows, dead center. The entire outfield is playing pretty much standard depth and positioning as well. The 1-1. Called strike on the high outside corner, and Adcock has himself ahead in the count 1-2. Otters capitalize on a couple of unknowing pitchers in the top of the 6th to grab 4 runs off a pair of home runs. Ball is pushed into left field, down for a base hit. So a couple men on here in the 7th inning. Runners on first and second with 1 out. Adcock is going to stay in to face Achenbaugh, at least it looks like it. And now Max Peterson's making the walk out to the mound. Could be it for Adcock. Max Peterson and the entire infield working up towards the mound. They'll go talk about things. Now a pitching change is made. Wonderful day from Brett Adcock. We'll tell you more about it and let you know who's coming in for him right after this on the Otters Digital Network. Well, the part of the game Brett Adcock can control is over. He has a couple of runners out there that he's responsible for. Jacob Bowles is going to come in relief. It's the first appearance for Bowles since Saturday night, where he went 2 full innings, giving up no runs on no hits, striking out 2 in that time as well. This call to the bullpen is presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Bowles on the mound, Felix behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. Let them know that Evan the Otters sent them your way. Jacob Bowles just needs to grab 2 outs. He's currently inheriting runners at first and second. A lot of fireworks starting to go on around GCS Credit Union Ballpark. You'll start to hear them in the background, I'm sure. One of the most dangerous hitters in all of the Frontier League, Trevor Achenbaugh, is at the plate with 1 out and runners on first and second. Breeze is blowing in from left center field. First pitch from Jacob Bowles on the way. Low outside, ball 1. Felix did good work to get over there and get behind it. Otters would absolutely love a double play that could end things. One ball, no strikes. Jacob Bowles taking his time up on the mound. And time is called by Achenbaugh at the plate. We'll try again on the 1-0. Bowles glance out to second. Here comes the 1-0. Way outside again. It's a 2-0 count. Two balls, no strikes here for Trevor Achenbaugh. Clearly, Bowles doesn't want to give him anything too close. The 2-0. Low and away, 3-0 count. And Bowles is 1 pitch away from walking the bases loaded. Three balls and no strikes for Trevor Achenbaugh. And Jacob Bowles needs to be very careful here. The 3-0. Called strike at the knees. And the count's at 3-1. Three-one count. Bowles has to put something close enough that Achenbaugh's worried about it. Runners on first and second with 1 out. The 3-1. It works outside. The bases are loaded after a walk from Bowles. Achenbaugh's at first, Bernard's at second, Rosario's at third. And that brings up Clint Freeman. Another dangerous hitter for this Grizzlies team. Bowles needs something on the ground. Grab the double play and end this inning. An absolute light show going on center field with all of the fireworks miles away. The first pitch to Clint Freeman on the way from Bowles. Works inside, ball 1. Bowles looking at a 1-0 count with 1 on, or sorry, with 1 out, and the bases loaded. Otters lead by 3. The 1-0 to Freeman. Again works low and inside. It's a 2-0 count. Bowles only has 1 strike in the whole at-bat, or in his whole time in the game thus far, and it was a very close one to the knees. So now we're going to see Bowles really take his time before some of these pitches. Two balls, no strikes. To Freeman. Bowles sends it home. Again, too far inside. That one was really close. And now we see Max Peterson shouting from the dugout. He's frustrated. And quickly, another arm is starting to warm up for the Otters. It's Augie Gallardo down there. 3-0 count to Clint Freeman. Called strike one. So two identical at-bats so far in this half inning since Bowles has entered the game. 3-1 count. He absolutely needs to get it out here. Bowles fires home on the 3-1. Skied out and foul to the left side will get towards the concourse, out of play, of course. And the count is full. There's runners on first, second, and third with 1 out. Otters lead by 3, and Bowles is trying to keep it that way. Needs to get it out here on Clint Freeman. The 3-2 from Jacob Bowles on the way. Sit towards Armstrong at second. To second for 1. To first. In time. And the Otters get out of a bases-loaded jam here in the 7th inning. They still lead 4-1 as we head to the 8th inning. Huge defensive play for the Otters. We'll talk to you in the 8th. To the top of the 8th we go. We've got a final line score for Brett Adcock. He goes 6 1/3 innings, giving up 1 run on 7 hits, walking 2, striking out 6. That is a quality start for him, his 2nd of the year. Safe to say the kid is back. He's in line for his 3rd straight win. He threw 109 pitches, 75 of them were strikes. One of the best strike to pitch ratios he's had all year long. And you know, one of the big things that led to that was instead of getting a lot of walks and a lot of balls thrown at some of the guys he was playing, instead it was a lot of foul balls. And that really works up the pitch count and, of course, the strike count rather quickly. It's still Jared Milch as we head to the top of the 8th. He's going to face J.R. Davis, Anthony Torrelas, and George Khalil. Khalil's the one who hit the 3-run home run that right now has given the Otters the lead that they're holding on to. Augie Gallardo is going to continue warming up for the Otters in left field. Looks like he could be the man for the 8th inning. And if this game stays at a 3-run advantage, we might see Logan Sawyer as well to close out the game. J.R. Davis is 1 for 2 on the day. A hit by pitch, a single, and a fielder's choice. He managed a multi-hit outing last night, trying to do the same tonight. First pitch, and he thinks about going around. It's a called strike 1, though. Don't forget, no off day this week. Otters are right back at it tomorrow night at Bosse Field, 6:35 first pitch. They welcome the Schaumburg Boomers to town for a 3-game set. 0-1 pitch to J.R. Davis. Called strike just underneath the elbows, and he's down 0-2. It's a Taco Tuesday tomorrow night. We'll have Rally Taco in attendance, as well as tacos and nachos available down on the lower concourse. You've got to try the new Supreme Taco. Just came out last week at Bosse Field. Very good. An 0-2 bounces in, gets away from Davis. Gets away from Hernandez, and it's a 1-2 count. We are very glad that you've chosen to spend your July 4th with us. Hope you're enjoying your holiday weekend. Hope you're enjoying another Otters, hopefully, win. Counts at 2-2 for J.R. Davis. The Otters found the long ball in this series, and that has reinvigorated this offense. That's the bread and butter for this team. 2-2 for Davis. Works inside again, and it's a full count. There is no batter on this Otters lineup that attracts the ball inside as much as J.R. Davis. He doesn't get hit a bunch because he's able to get out of the way pretty soon, but I'll tell you what, it seems like he always has one working in towards him. The 3-2 in again, and he's going to earn a walk after 4 straight pitches are way inside on him. So there goes Davis to first on a leadoff walk here in the 8th inning. Third baseman is Anthony Torrellas. Torrellas so far is 0 for 2, grounding into a 5-4 fielder's choice both times. One of them was a time he got on base, one he did not. He was hit by a pitch as well. First pitch to him, he's showing bunt. He gets out of the way in time for ball 1. And now it seems as Jose Rosario is going to keep himself pretty close on that third base side, not wanting to allow any base running here. The 1-0, or no bunting, I guess I should say. Count works inside. It's a 2-0 count. It's a 2-0 count. Towards Torrellas. Shows bunt again, gets his hands out of the way, and it's a 3rd ball. (3-0) count to Anthony Torrellas. There's a runner on first and no outs. The pitch on the way. Called strike 1 at the elbows. There's another man starting to warm up for the Grizzlies down in right field. Augie Gallardo seems to be warmed up for the Otters. 3-1. Crank down the left field line. And watch out, Evansville bullpen. That came to them in a hurry. Count now heads to full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Anthony Torrellas. There is a ton of fireworks going off out there in center field or beyond center field. Another mile or so. The 3-2. Torrellas zooms it to Rosario at third. He backhands. The throw to first is in time. Then the throw over to third. Is it in time? Yes, it is. Davis tried to snag third as well. He's caught on the way. But Torrellas is going to be safe because the throw brought Freeman off of first. They're saying Freeman got his foot off the base, and that's why Torrellas is safe. There doesn't seem to be any arguments over there. So it's a strange out, as they're going to get Davis on his way to third. Khalil tries to put one down the third base line, but he fouls it. The bunt fouls just the way off. So it's technically a 5-3-5 put out of J.R. Davis. Oh, 1 the count to George Khalil after the bunt that went a bit foul. Long wait. Now Khalil gets it his way, a hefty swing, and he's empty-handed 0-2. Khalil had the 3-run home run back in the 6th that opened this game up for the Otters, and that's currently the deciding factor in this game. The 0-2 to Khalil. Pushed out towards right field. Going back. It's gone if it's fair. Is it? It is! Another home run for George Khalil. It's the first 2 home run game of his career, and 3 of his 4 professional home runs have come at GCS Credit Union Ballpark. And the Otters are now up 6-1 here in the 8th inning. Strong hit by George Khalil to opposite field. Just stayed inside the foul line down there. Back-to-back home runs for him. That'll bring up the catcher, Justin Felix. Grabbed his first base hit in that last inning in the 6th inning for the Otters, but he was left on first. First pitch to him is high outside, ball 1. One ball, no strikes towards Justin Felix now. Here comes the pitch home. Zoom towards left field. Towards the corner, it gets itself foul. Would not have been a home run if it was fair, and the kids go wild for the ball on the hill. And a couple celebrate that they're the ones who ended up with it. One ball, one strike. One of the hardest hit balls for Justin Felix of the year. Cranked it a little bit foul. Counts evened up at 1 ball and 1 strike. There's 1 out and the bases are empty. Otters are ahead 6-1 in this one. The 1-1 to Felix. Ooh, big curveball, didn't curve enough. That second Khalil home run went to my favorite part of this ballpark. They have a hot tub suite out in right field that you can rent. I think I might have to make a trip back to Gateway next year just to see what that's all about. 2-1 falls into the zone. Oh, no, it didn't fall into the zone. It stayed outside. 3-1 count. Outside of the box. And Felix is ahead 3-1 in the count. As we continue to have a light show all around GCS Credit Union Ballpark. Fireworks outside the ballpark. Fireworks inside the ballpark by the Otters. 3-1 stays high, and Felix is going to earn his second walk of the game. And out comes Steve Brook. Looks like we are going to have another change for the Grizzlies. We'll let you know who's coming in right after this. A second multi-run home run for George Khalil has given the Otters a 6-1 lead. Hey, don't let the odds get hot. Top of the 8th continues right after this. Well, we're still in the top of the 8th, and the second home run of the day for George Khalil has given the Otters some insurance. They lead 6-1. And a new pitcher is needed. Carson Cupo will get the nod out of the bullpen. This call to the bullpen is presented by Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Cupo on the mound, Hernandez behind the plate. That pitcher catch battery is sponsored by The Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at The Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Or give them a call at 812-475-9000. So the first pitch for Andy Armstrong is going to be from Carson Cupo. The pitch is on the way. Sent towards the right side, down for a base hit. Felix rounding second. He's headed for third. There'll be runners at the corners with 1 out. First pitch Andy Armstrong sees. He sits down in right field. So that will take us back to the top of the order, where the right fielder Elijah McNamee heads to the plate. McNamee worked his way back over 300. McNamee absolutely needs to get on base somehow to keep his long on-base streak alive. 36 straight games he's been on base. 10 straight games he's got a hit. First pitch to him. Hefty swinging strike one on a pitch that broke low and away from him. Take a look at the Fox Sports WYFX Frontier League scoreboard. Sussex County defeated New York 12-5. Tri-City defeated Ottawa 7-6. The 0-1 to Elijah McNamee. There goes the runner. Hit right up the middle. They'll throw over to first for the double play on the hit and run, and we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Otters had 2 more on a 2-run home run from George Khalil, his second multi-run home run of the day. And with that, we head to the bottom half of the 8th. Otters lead by 5. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Augie Gallardo getting the nod out of the bullpen. This call to the bullpen is presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Gallardo on the mound. Felix behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Or give them a call at 812-475-9000. Well, in a game that saw 3 total pitchers last night, this is our 7th pitcher of the game on both sides combined. Trejo will be the first one to see one. Rocket towards the hot corner. Torrellis plays it over to first in plenty of time. And the rookie Torrellis is able to keep his defensive work alive. 1 ball, 1 out as Trejo lines into a ground out to the left side. Brings up the left fielder, Jay Prather, who is 1 for 3 with a single, a hard fly out to left, and a strikeout. The first pitch to Prather. Push to the left side. Right it. Oh, my. Khalil climbs the ladder. And that's the benefit of having a 6'4 shortstop. If it's a night that Andy Armstrong's playing short, that's probably a base hit. But the Australian brings it down for out number 2. That brings up the shortstop, Abdiel Diaz. No base hits for him, but he's reached base in 2 of his 3 opportunities. Once on a walk, once on an error. First pitch to him here is a called strike on the low outside corner. Oh, 1 is the count towards Abdiel Diaz. The ball catches the high inside corner for a called strike 2. Gallardo's ahead the counts by a couple pitches. The 0-2 from Gallardo. Tried to use that slider to the low inside corner. Diaz did not bite. One ball, 2 strikes to Abdiel Diaz. Gallardo going to try again. Called strike 3 on the inside edge, and just like that, the inning's over. We head to the 9th inning. Otters lead by 5. Home runs are once again the answer for Evansville. Another call to the bullpen as we head to the top of the 9th inning. John Murphy will be called upon for the Grizzlies. This call to bullpen is presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Murphy on the mound. Hernandez behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by The Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at The Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give them a call at 812-475-9000. Zach Bierman at the plate to kick off this 9th inning. First pitch to him. He thinks about going around. They check down. No, he did not go, says the third base umpire, Tim Hudson, for ball 1. Bierman 1 for 4 with a solo home run in the 6th. That tied the game, and the Otters didn't look back. The 1-0 to Bierman. That's a called strike on the low inside edge. One ball, 1 strike for Zach Bierman. Really taking his time. Here comes the 1-1. Swinging strike 2. He was just a bit behind the fastball from John Murphy. One ball, 2 strikes for Bierman. The 1-2 right back up the middle, played by Diaz. He'll throw to first in plenty of time. Watch out, John Murphy. But we see the shift work to its full potential there. And Bierman's retired on a 6-3 putout. Brings up Miles Gordon, the center fielder. 1 for 3 with a single, a walk, a strikeout, and a flyout. Walk you through the final scores we have throughout the Fox Sports WIFX Frontier League scoreboard. Schaumburg defeats Florence 6-3. Washington gets a 14-6 win against Windy City. So even if the Otters are able to hold on to this lead and win the game, they will stay a game and a half back in the West Division. The 1-0 swung on and missed by Gordon. Count evens up at 1-1. Great to have all of you guys here on the Otters Digital Network. Spending your 4th of July with the Evansville Otters. We're proud to be your team. The 1-1 to Gordon. High outside, ball 2. No one warming, so it should likely be Augie Gallardo to return on the mound for the 9th. And if things got a little hairy, then I'm sure we'd see Logan Sawyer start to throw just in case. 2-1. That's fouled to the left side, out of play. Count evens up at 2-2. Very deep is the outfield for Miles Gordon. The infield shifted to the right. Must be individuals starting to shoot off fireworks in the parking lot of GCS Credit Union Ballpark now. They're showing up out there beyond left field, out where the bus usually parks. Three balls, 2 strikes for Miles Gordon. Gordon still waiting on the 3-2. Pitch is on the way. Swung on and missed. Swinging strike 3 is the first strikeout of the game for John Murphy. Well, as long as the Otters are able to hold on to their lead they have now, we're going to have a battle of 2 teams on 7-game winning streaks tomorrow night. Schaumburg won their game and has won 7 straight, have surged from last place in the West to now 3rd in the West. It is going to be a great week of ball games from Bosse Field. If you want to be in attendance, you got to grab a ticket at evansvilleotters.com or stop by the box office anytime tomorrow. First pitch to Sinsley. Called strike 1 on the outside edge. I should have my color man Bill McEwen back with me tomorrow night. If you can't join us at the ballpark, join us on Flow Sports or here on the Otters Digital Network for the free audio-only stream. 0-1 to Sinsley. He chases up high, and he's down 0-2 in the count. The wind is blowing straight in from center field. It's never fun when you're shooting off fireworks, at least if you work for a team, because you have to worry about that. Counts 0-2 for Steven Sinsley with 2 outs. It's low and inside for ball 1. And it looks like a ball has ended up in center field off of the outfield berm, so time's going to be called while they go recover that. One ball, 2 strikes, and the fireworks are everywhere now. We want to wish you a happy 4th of July and say thank you for making us part of your evening. Baseball and the 4th. Name a better pair. 1-2 is fouled off to the left side, out of play. Count remains at 1-2 for Steven Sinsley. Doing well to stay defensive at the plate. This is the very last game the Otters are playing here at GCS Credit Union Ballpark in the regular season here in 2022. Of course, they could face in the postseason. The 1-2 to Steven Sinsley. High outside. And Sinsley putting on a masterclass in long at-bats and keeping yourself defensive. So we'll try again. 2-2 the count for Steven Sinsley. Pitch is on the way. Sent back into the netting, and he continues to stay alive. Two balls, two strikes, two outs, nobody on for Steven Sinsley. Long wait for John Murphy up on the mounds. Finally has the call he likes. Here comes the 2-2. Lifted high, foul, out of play yet again for Steven Sinsley. Really keeping himself alive. Count remains even at 2 balls, 2 strikes for Steven Sinsley. This is one of the first time in a long time he's really stayed defensive in accounts and made a pitcher work really hard. The 2-2. Zoomed out foul again to the left side. Usually either Sinsley has a quick out or quickly makes a pitcher pay. This time really working on John Murphy. Two balls and 2 strikes to Steven Sinsley. Pitch is on the way. Bounces in, and it's a full count. Talk about a tale of 2 series. You've got Schaumburg and Evansville, who will likely meet with a pair of 7-game winning streaks. Meanwhile, you've got Windy City and Florence, who each have 7-game losing streaks. The 3-2. Sinsley cranks it towards the right side, grabbed by Freeman. To the pitcher Murphy in time for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Otters lead by 5. Conclusion coming at you next here on the Otters Digital Network. Don't go anywhere. Augie Gallardo and the Otters return to the defensive field of play. Eager to finish this one up. Want to walk you through what's coming up next for these Gateway Grizzlies. They are on the road to face Joliet for 3 games. They'll continue their road trip at Lake Erie for 3 games before coming back next week to face the Washington Wild Things here in a 3-game set. Looks like the inning is going to kick off with a pinch hitter. Cam Touche is going to pinch hit for Alex Hernandez. The first opportunity of the game for Touche. Touche appeared in the game on Saturday night. Did not get an at-bat, however. First pitch is down the right field line, just a hair foul. It got past Sinsley, but that's because it was foul. The count's at 0-1 for Cam Touche. No outs, nobody on. Hefty wind now blowing in from center field. The flag starting to fly a little more erratically than it has all night. The 0-1 for Touche. Works inside and hits him in the inside leg. And he's in some pain before he leaves the box. And now he's making his way down. So the leadoff man is on for the Grizzlies here in the bottom of the ninth. Brings up the third baseman, Jose Rosario. 1 for 3 with a single back in the 7th inning. But he was stranded at third. First pitch to Jose Rosario on the way. Called strike 1. The slider just fell back in. On the way for Rosario. It's foul tipped into the glove of Felix for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes for the third baseman, Rosario. Pitch is headed his way, and it bounces in on the low outside corner. Felix does good to keep it in front of him. You almost can't look any direction without seeing the fireworks. One ball, 2 strikes. On the way. Low outside again. The count has evened up at 2-2. There's a runner on first. Gallardo sends it home on the 2-2. Bounces in again. Gallardo had himself ahead 0-2 in the count, and now the count's full. Payoff pitch on the way. Called strike 3. And it's the second German-American Bank strikeout of the game for Augie Gallardo. And Jose Rosario did not agree. That will bring up Andrew Penner, the former Otter, with 1 out and a 1 for 4 line. First pitch to him is a called strike at the knees. Here comes the 0-1 on the way home for Andrew Penner. Gets away from Felix a little bit. He's able to keep it close, though. And because there's been fireworks in the parking lot of the ballpark here, the smoke is starting to drift its way over the field and create things a little hazy on the left side of the outfield. 1-1, runners going. It's grounded to the left side and foul. Steve Brook robbed Torrelas over there in foul territory. He's going to hand the ball to a kid there in the front row. Make someone's day here as we're here in the bottom of the 9th inning. One ball, 2 strikes for Andrew Penner, the center fielder. Pitch is on the way. Sent towards Armstrong at the right side. Past the diving Armstrong. And there'll be runners on first and second with 1 out. Armstrong tracked that one a long time, but ended up just a bit short. So So there's runners now on first and second with 1 out. As Isaac Bernard heads to the plate, 2 for 4 on the day for him, a couple of singles. The first pitch to him on the way now. Called strike 1 right across the heart of the plate. Otters are back home tomorrow night, 6:35 first pitch from Bosse Field. If you can't join us in person, join us either on Flow Sports or here on the 100% free Otters Digital Network, Evansville Otters YouTube page. The 0-1 on the way to Bernard. Zoomed foul down the right field line. Does stay foul. The count's 0-2. Well, unless there's a huge comeback here for Gateway and then a lot of runs for the Otters, it does look like Elijah McNamee's going to lose his 36-game on-base streak this evening. 0-2, zoom to the right side. Sinsley will play it on a couple hops. He's just going to take the 1 out he can get over on first. There's runners at second and third with 2 outs. And hands down, the most dangerous Grizzly at the plate now, Trevor Achenbach. He's reached base all 4 times tonight, twice on walks, once on a double, and once on a fielder's choice. The fielder's choice drove in the only run for Gateway so far in the game. Gallardo really taking his time on the bump. Nods at his sign, and he steps off. Looks like time was called. Defense is slanted a bit to the left side in the outfield. Defense play or infield playing deep just to get the out. Sent into center field, down for a base hit. 1 run's going to score, and the lead drops down to 4. Achenbach grabs his second RBI on the night on an RBI single to center field. Pinner reaches third. Touche scores. There's now runners on the corners with 2 outs as Clint Freeman heads to the plate. Logan Sire starting to warm up for the Otters just in case he's needed now. Gallardo readies himself for the first pitch of the at-bat to Clint Freeman. Pitch is on the way. Called strike 1 on the outside edge. Oh, 1 the count for Augie Gallardo as he throws home to Clint Freeman. Swinging strike 2, and the Grizz are down to their last strike. Gallardo trying to be the man that can close things out and give Brett Adcock his 3rd straight win. The 0-2 to Freeman. Sent foul to the left side, and we'll have at least 1 more pitch. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Clint Freeman's looking at an 0-2 opportunity. Gallardo ready with the 0-2. Pitch is on the way. Sent into play to Khalil on a couple hops. He'll throw to first. That's the ball game. 7 straight wins for the Otters. And it's going to be a matchup of 2 7-game winning streaks tomorrow night as Schaumburg heads to Bosse Field. This one comes from the hands of Brett Adcock, who gets his 3rd straight win. We'll keep it right here for the postgame show. The game opened up with the Grizzlies getting the first run of the game. That came in that first inning on an RBI fielder's choice from Trevor Achenbach. That 1-0 score held for a long time. Then in the 6th inning, finally the Otters were able to put a couple of things together. It started off with a solo home run from Zach Bierman, his 14th of the season, has him at second place in the Frontier League. Launched that one out there. Then after a couple more batters got on, George Khalil hit a 3-run home run, his 3rd home run of the season, 2nd in this ballpark. The 4-1 advantage would hold 2 innings before the Otters were able to grab 2 more runs on a, guess what, 2-run home run from George Khalil, his 4th of the season, 2nd of the game, and 3rd of the year in this ballpark. The Otters held on to that to the 9th inning when Augie Gallardo gave up the RBI single to Trevor Achenbaugh. That would be all that the game had, as the Otters were able to finish it out after that, winning 6-2 for the 2nd straight night. The win is going to go to Brett Adcock. It's his 3rd straight game that he has earned a W in. Gotta feel good for him after starting the year in not the easiest way. JP Williams falls in the game. He's now 2-4 on the season. No save, as there was not a save opportunity for Augie Gallardo. Worth noting in the game for the Otters, 1 2-hit performance. It was George Khalil with 2 multi-home run outings. 1 a 2-run homer, 1 a 3-run homer. He had 5 RBIs in the game. Only one other individual had an RBI. It was Zach Bierman with his solo home run. You know, one of the things I wanted to see in this series was the Otters find a way to implement the long ball back into their game. We hadn't seen it in a couple of weeks, and they surely did. It is going to be a fun Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday series between Schaumburg and Evansville, a pair of 7-game winning streaks meeting at Bosse Field. If you'd like to join us, get your ticket now at evansvilleotters.com, or you can stop by the box office anytime this week. We'll be happy to hook you up with your ticket. Taco Tuesday tomorrow night. It's a Senior Connection Wednesday on Wednesday, Thursday on Thursday night. If you want a full rundown of all of our promotions, go to evansvilleotters.com/promotions, and you'll find that full list. I'll go through the Fox Sports WIFX Frontier League scoreboard once more. They were all final. Just give you one more heads up. Sussex County defeats New York 12-5. Tri-City defeats Ottawa 7-6. Schaumburg defeats Florence 6-3. And Washington comes from behind to defeat Windy City 14-6. Then, of course, our final. The Otters stay hot and win 6-2 over the Gateway Grizzlies. They get a 4-game sweep of the Grizzlies here over the holiday weekend and have improved their winning streak to 7 straight games. It's the 2nd time this season they've had a 7-game winning streak. They'll look to keep it alive tomorrow night as the Schaumburg Boomers come to town. If you can't join us in person at Bosse Field, you can join us on Flow Sports or audio only for free right here on the Otters Digital Network. Bill McEwen will join me for another edition of Otters Baseball. I want to thank you if you tuned into any of the broadcasts this weekend. We are very thankful that we're your team and that you took time out of your weekend to root on the Otters here as they claimed 4 games on the road at Gateway. For all of us here at the Evansville Otters and for Preston Lineback, who joined me last night, I'm Matthew Will. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Otters Baseball. I'll talk to you tomorrow night as the Otters welcome in Schaumburg for a huge 3-game set. We'll talk to you at 6:35 tomorrow night.